fitness, and it's definitely a love. My tennis coach was actually the person that got me into my fitness. But I'm going to start out talking about the 7 deadly workout sins. And some of these, I don't know if any of you are gym rats. Probably the guys are more the gym rats and might get a couple of my jokes here. But girls, it's kind of going to be a little different talking to the ladies than the men. But I'm going to let you know some of the things that I think really considered common knowledge now, but a lot of people are still behind the times. You know, think about what we were using back in the 80s. We had cassette tapes, and there wasn't such thing as a CD, and a lot of us are still exercising like it's the 80s. We're using outdated, ideas, and fitness knowledge has come a long way. Guys will get this one. Okay, so number 1 deadly workout sin is a body part routine. Okay, so if you've been, ladies might not know what that means. All right, that means you work 1 body part per day. Okay, I know a lot of people know about the P90X routine. It's similar. It's not quite good. It's a very good routine actually, but they train 1 or 2 body parts a day, and you have to train for an hour or more on that one or 2 body parts, and that's all you do for 1 day a week. Okay, our true bodybuilder routine is training 1 body part, like chest. It's like a joke. Okay, Monday is always chest day in the gym, so guys will spend like 1 or 2 hours a lot of times working the chest. We don't do that in our boot camp routines. We focus more on the total body routine. So if you get anything out of what I'm going to talk about tonight, I want you to know that it's really going to be better for you to do a 3-time-a-week strength training routine that works your total body, all body parts, than to do 1 body part a day, 1 time a week. Okay, so, and to work out with intensity. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. All right, I've got a couple of studies that I'll have to just remind myself about here. There were 2 different workout groups in one study. One group did 3 total body workouts per week, while the other one did that split routine. Of course, the first group that did the total body routine 3 times a week added 5 pounds of muscle. They did the same volume. They did the same number of sets per muscle group, but the ones that did the total body routine ended up adding 5 pounds of muscle in that time span that they worked out. Okay. For ladies, that sounds a little bit scary, adding muscle, okay, because everybody's another outdated idea. They're looking at their scale weight. Okay, we don't want to look at our scale weight. That's 1 number. When you add muscle, you're raising your metabolism, okay? And that's what we want to do. That means you can sit on the couch and actually eat more. That's the way I think of it. So when you add muscle, actually, besides, the scale weight, I want to make sure you know, okay? Don't look at the scale weight, because for the ladies, when you add muscle, like I say that sometimes I have a leaner person that adds muscle and they gain a little bit of weight. They actually look better. Like I say, I get more toned in my shoulders, and I actually add a little bit of muscle under my shoulders. It actually makes you look thinner, and that really what we want. Really just want to look good a lot of times. I hope you want to be healthy. A lot of people are looking at that outer appearance, and they want to just look better. They want to firm up, or have muscles in the right places and be slim in the right places. That's what your strength training routine is going to do for you, okay? So don't look at that scale weight. We're trying to add muscle. We're trying to get healthy and fit. You do that. One component of that is your strength training routine. A lot of this is about how to do your strength training routine tonight. Okay. Number 2, outdated idea that a lot of people are still doing is marathon workouts that last longer than an hour, okay? You've seen people that are in the gym for like 2 hours, and they're doing a treadmill for an hour, or maybe the guys are doing, 12 sets of arms and legs and everything. It takes them 2 hours to finish their workout. And that's too long. You can exercise with a lot more intensity in a shorter amount of time, and you can get just as much done or more. So everybody's all about getting the most bang for the buck and maximizing your efforts in the least amount of time now. And the good news is that you can actually work out for about 30 minutes a day, or maybe even just 3 times a week if you're just doing your strength training, and you can get the kind of results that you want. Okay, if you're doing the right things, you're using the intensity, you're going out and you're working hard and doing these non-competing exercises or circuits, or just really bringing the intensity when you do work out. And that's what we do in our boot camp routines. Daily workout sin number 3, I'm going to put a couple of these together so I can make sure you know how to get your flat belly. All of this is actually tying into how you're going to get your flat belly. Single joint movements, okay? If you've seen a lot of guys that just want to work their arms and they'll do bicep curls like this, okay? That's using just one joint. Sitting in one of those machines out there, maybe set, leg extensions, you're just sitting down and you're doing this. I mean, how does that help you in real life when you're sitting and how many times do you do that during the day? It doesn't really help you a whole lot, right? We have to sit and sometimes, well, I can jump all day long, but we have to use our bodies in a really functional way. We got to turn, we got to maybe pick up a box here or there. He picks up a lot of stuff, So yeah, if you want to be functional, you want to be fit, you want to be healthy, you got to turn your body in different directions. You got to get out of just being in this plane, north and south, and go sideways, turn all 3 dimensions, and we need to do compound movements. And compound movement is when you use more than one joint. Okay, so the exercises, and even a lot of the exercises they do, or all of them actually in CrossFit, same sort of thing. We're talking about, we maybe mentioned a little bit about their CrossFit workout too, but that's the idea, is working out with intensity, using a bunch of muscle groups at one time, and just getting a lot of work done in a short amount of time. So the fix of that single joint movement idea is using movements that use more than one joint. Okay, so if you need help doing that, I'm always glad to show you how to do that. And that's what we're doing. We're doing our boot camp workouts. Okay? Then the workouts, sin number 4 mostly, and number 5. Okay, mostly done by women. Number 1, using low intensity workouts for long periods of time, or number 5, just performing straight set of a single exercise. And I'm going to do chest press, okay, bench press, and then I'm going to rest. And I'm going to do chest press again, and I'm going to rest. Okay, there's a lot of time in between sets. You can be doing something else in that dead time. You want to cram everything in a short amount of time. We're going to use the circuit format. Okay, going back to what I was talking about with these low intensity workouts or exercises. There's still people out there, I don't know, there's an old class out there called Biocamp, but that do 2 minutes or more of each exercise. And so maybe you're going to even get on the treadmill and you're going to walk for an hour. Okay? You could actually do that in a more efficient way. Do intervals for 20 minutes instead of doing like long, slow, boring cardio and kind of stuff. I think one of the biggest misconceptions right now, or still, that I'm surprised about, is there's a lot of good information out there these days. There's a lot of information out there no matter what, is that, that long, slow cardio is what you should be doing if you want to see results in your, in your weight loss. If you want to lose fat, you got to get on the treadmill for an hour. You got to get on the elliptical, which is actually a really overrated machine. So definitely a better way to do it. Doing intervals is one way you're going to do that, and then bringing intensity. That fat burning zone is a huge myth. I know everybody's heard of the fat burning zone, right? I think so. That was just a study that came out a while back that said, you burn more fat if you're in this zone. You burn a higher percentage of fat if your heart rate is somewhere in between here and here, depending on your age. That's just okay. It does
That word.
It works. It works in your body physiologically. It is true. But that means you're going to exercise for an hour. If you want to be in that fat burning zone, I'm going to work out an hour, so I can, 65% of that time I can burn 65% of my calories that I burn in an hour will be fat. I don't know if that's the right percentage, but probably not. But we want to be in the sugar burning zone. That's actually what we want to be in. We want to work out with intensity. I guess I've said that word enough times already. But when you do, you actually burn more calories in that shorter workout. Or it could be just the same, but you also get what they call that afterburn when you do work out and you do high intensity intervals. High intensity intervals are what you're looking to do if you're going to do your cardio. What we do in our boot camp is strength training, high intensity intervals. So the heart rate is going to go up. You're going to work really hard, somewhere between 30 seconds and a minute a lot of times. We go a minute to change it up a lot of times. A lot of times we're somewhere between 30 and 45 seconds per exercise, working out hard with a very short amount of rest, and we go to a non-competing exercise. So what that means if you're doing your own workouts is you might do a set of squats, okay, or jump squats or whatever, and plyometrics. Heart rate's up, legs are burning, And then we go to an upper body exercise like push-ups, okay? Or a press, something like that. So heart rate might still be up, but we're using a different set of muscles. 30 seconds later, we're done with that exercise, and then we're going to another, like a single leg or unilateral exercise like lunges. So you can go back to back to back and do 5 or 6 exercises, and heart rate's probably still up the whole time, your exertion level's up. You get a minute break after those 5 or 6 or maybe 10 exercises at the most, and then we do it all over again. So I like that circuit format. I'm a real big fan of that. That's the way you can get a really, really tough workout in a short amount of time. Our boot camp workouts are actually 20 minutes with a 5-minute warm-up and a 5-minute cool down. So, and this is as hard as I want it. I really don't feel like working out anymore. I could probably do, you know, a little more working out after that. I don't fit enough to do that, but really, if you're bringing enough intensity, it should be all you need. So intensity is big. Sugar burning is what you're looking to do, not fat burning, okay? So we got that one. Like I was saying with those single joint, well, not just single joint movements, but when you're just doing like one exercise and then you're resting, and you do that same exercise, if you're going to do 3 sets of, say like bicep curls, like I was using as an example before, if I do 10 bicep curls and then I rest, and then I do another 10 bicep curls, and I do that like a standard trainer might tell you, okay, go do 3 sets of each exercise for 10 reps apiece. If I do that before I go to the next exercise, it's going to take me about 10 to 15 minutes to finish that one exercise. So that's what's going to keep you in the gym for an hour, hour and a half if you do things that way. So we want to do things that way. We want to use our time as efficiently as possible. Okay? One of the other things that would be real easy to do if you don't know what you're doing and you're trying to build your own workout routine, dead lean workout sin number 7 is just to do the same routine all the time. Okay? And I know I've helped a few people in here, and I do consults at times just to give someone, if they know they want to work out and they know they're motivated enough to work out on their own. I'll do a little consult and I'll give you a program that you can do on your own 2 to 3 times a week. But if you can't, relaxing, right? And we've done that with you guys. We've changed up your workout, but you don't want to do that particular workout for more than 4 to 6 weeks. And that time period actually depends on your strength training experience. Someone that's really advanced and has done working out for a year to 2 years, your body actually needs change about every 3 weeks. Okay, so you can have a certain workout or even an A, B, and a C workout that you can perform for 3 weeks to a month, and then you need to change it up. Okay, there's different ways to change it up. You can change resistance, you can change your exercises, or you can change your interval. Okay, and that's what we do a lot in our boot camps. You know, 1 week we're doing 1 or 2, 3 weeks we do 30-second intervals, okay, and then we'll go to a minute interval, okay. And it just shocks your body, keeps you from hitting a plateau, and that's what you need. You need to keep your body guessing. And if everybody knows about P90X, they talk about muscle confusion. They did a really good job of marketing that, because that's what strength training is all about. It's just helping your body, you know, keeping it guessing so that you can see change. For women, seeing change would be more muscle tone. For guys, seeing changes, your muscles are going to get bigger. Women don't really have to worry a whole lot about getting bigger most of the time unless you're taking steroids. So with a good eating plan and a good workout plan, you will just see, of course, your arms and thighs and your stomach firm up, and you'll see everything taking shape. You don't have to worry about getting bigger. Okay, you just look bigger and sexier. Is that word? Yeah, that's all right. Well, that's kind of a brief overview of the 7 deadly workout sins. And a lot more I can add to that. There's actually a couple of studies. I'll go back since I went through that pretty quickly. Okay, because there's a couple of studies. You know, they're constantly doing research. You know, on the best way to work out. I would probably be a lab rat myself if I could, just to and you guys are my lab rats a lot of times. So, but there's been some interesting studies. There was an aerobic study that was done it was in the International Journal of Sports Nutrition, that they put one group in doing 45 minutes of steady state cardio. Okay, the steady state cardio, that's when you're just walking at the same pace. Okay, so this one group did 45 minutes of cardio 5 days a week. It had 0 effect over their dieting alone when it came to weight loss. Okay, so they did that all year, and that took them 45 hours. Yet they didn't have any results. Okay, So, you know, it wasn't just because of the length of the workouts, it was probably more because of their intensity. You know, just we talk about that slow, steady cardio. I know nobody, if you're trying to lose weight, I know you don't want to spend 45 hours doing something that's not going to benefit you. Let's see, second study, okay, we talked about the fat burning zone. We do have that, you know, when you exercise with intensity, there's a couple different reasons now. They're finding out that strength training actually burns more calories than they originally thought, okay? If I can read you a couple of numbers here. Okay. It says in a recent study by University of Southern Maine, researchers discovered a more accurate measure to measure calorie burn for lifting weights, okay? They discovered that weight training in a circuit burns 71% more calories than they previously thought. At one time, that's the reason why we all hopped on the treadmill. Because we thought, oh, I'm going to burn more calories. I'm going to get on the treadmill and go, go, go. So 71% more calories were burned between an 8 minutes high-intensity circuit. These are probably men, burn somewhere between 159 and 233 calories. Okay, so that's actually, you can't do that running on a treadmill. All right. It elevates, when you do something like that, it actually elevates your metabolism up to, well, they're saying 38 or more hours. Okay? The high intensity, there's a couple things that happen after you work out. That, you know, like metabolism is going to stay up long after you work out for a couple reasons. One, your body has to repair itself. And so when you break your muscle tissue down by lifting a heavier weight, and not a little tiny weight that you can barely see in your hands, when you lift a heavier weight, it does actually tear your muscle tissues down, breaks them down. You need the recovery and the nutrition to be able to build them back up. And your body actually has to burn calories to repair those muscles, okay? So that's one reason. And then you have this what they call EPOT, which is exercise post-oxygen consumption. And so internally, your body is doing a lot of different things. You're bringing in more oxygen, and that brings your metabolism up. So really one of the keys for you trying to look better, get leaner, fitter, stronger, healthier, flat belly, whatever you're looking to do, is to get that metabolism up. And you can do that by strength training. Okay, so what we see with most females is that either they just don't have the knowledge, don't know how to lift weights. Most guys will grow up at least messing with weights in some shape or fashion, and they learn just by doing that. Women want to get in on the machines and they'll do their cardio, but they don't know how. So, and then of course you got guys that they're kind of on the other end of the spectrum. You want a good whole picture. You need strength training in your equation. The older you get, the more you need the strength training. Okay? Yeah, I mean, getting on the treadmill or running out there doing intervals is great. I have a whole handout that I can give you on that on how to do intervals. It's great for your heart. But we just need it. We need to function to be able to move our bodies. The older we get, the more we need the mobility. Well, we need the strength to be able to handle our own bodies. So, you know, that's the purpose of a boot camp workout. Let's see if I can go through it. Yeah, probably one more stuff. Some good ones, actually, that I found today. Surprising. Yeah. Okay. This high intensity exercise, you had another group, and they studied college students that had not exercised in a while, that they put one group that rode a bike continuously for 90 minutes to 120 minutes, okay? And then they put another group, this is going to be really surprising to you, another group performed 20 to 30 seconds of cycling at maximum effort, followed by 4 minutes of full recovery, okay? So this group that was doing maximum effort, actually, they did that sequence, 30 seconds, like really short a sequence, 30 seconds on, 4 minutes off, and they did that 4 to 6 times for a total of 18 to 27 minutes, while the other group, 90 to 120 minutes straight, just steady cardio. Let's see how many times a week they did that. They did it 3 times a week for 2 total weeks, okay? And in the end, they discovered that both groups had identical improvements in endurance, okay? But what was crazy about it was the high-intensity group, it only exercised for really 6 to 9 minutes, if you just look at the time, but they actually went really hard. And the low-intensity group exercised for 5 hours, okay? But what they also found was that the high-intensity group, they lost more fat. They lost a little bit more weight. Or they did the same minutes of exercise. They just had basically just a more high-intensity workout, okay? So remember that. Sometimes you get more for your money by changing up your intensity. All right? Now, If you were here on Saturday, we did a flat belly workout, and I sent an email to anybody that participated on how to get a flat belly. And this is just my summary of what the 3 things that I think you need to do if you just want to see changes in your midsection. Keep in mind, well, everybody's genetics are different for one thing. Sometimes you drop fat in different areas, different than somebody else would. So there's actually a science behind that. But that belly fat is usually the last thing to drain. It's like draining, I know I've said it a million times, it's like draining the deep end of a pool. Okay? So what it is important. We want to stay trim around the middle. Visceral fat is something big you're talking about right now. If you have a lot of fat in here, then it means that you have fat around your organs. And fat around your organs is not good. So that is one reason to try to be healthy and reduce your belly fat. But there's just 3 parts of that equation. One we've already talked about is get your strength training in with high intensity. One way to do that is to do a circuit format like we were just talking about. We usually do that. What we do is we do 3 times a week for 30 minutes, and you need 2 days recovery in between times. Okay? So 3 times a week, 30 minutes. That doesn't take too long. That's doable, right? And then you can, if you're worried about weight loss and you want to keep your heart healthy, you can do intervals. Okay, so add cardio to your equation. If you're going to add your cardio, like when we have a kind of an exercise calendar at boot camp on our off days, minimum you can add 20 minutes of cardio. We have a handout that tells people how to do intervals. So just talk about not doing long, slow, boring cardio. You want to do intervals instead. Once you're sort of built up, you can do 20 minutes of steady-state cardio. So for example, once I'm in shape, I do a little 5-minute warm-up, and I can either on the treadmill or out on the road if my knees are good enough to run. I can do 1 minute hard at like a 7 or an 8 rating of perceived exertion. So that's a 7 or 8 out of 10 for me. Just for me, whatever pace that is. Go hard for a minute, or I feel like I'm not going to finish it. I'm starting to get really tired that last 15 seconds. And then I'll walk, okay? Not run, but walk in between. So you're spiking up your heart rate up here, and then you're letting it come back down. So that's working your heart. Okay? It's going to get your heart stronger. You're way up here, and then you walk instead of run to get the heart rate back down. Okay? And then you repeat. Okay? So the fitter you are, the more of those you can do. That minute interval that's just an example. It's a great length of time to do it. You can do sprint, you can work yourself up. Actually, it's harder to do shorter periods of time. Okay, so when you get in better shape, I recommend to do shorter intervals where you're progressing more towards sprints. And we can. I'm over 40 now. We're not too old to do sprints. You might not be able to do it like you did when you were 20. You might have to start slow. It might not look like a sprint when you do it. But it will do amazing things in making you leaner. If you look at the body of a sprinter, your Olympic sprinters, compared to the bodies of marathon runners, then you'll see the difference of what high intensity intervals will do for you. And they'll do the same thing. If you can employ that kind of an idea and use that workout instead of just long and slow. Okay, and long and slow is okay every once in a while, and I wouldn't do intervals every day, so don't go crazy. Start doing intervals 7 days a week. Because you could probably get injured doing that too. But on the injury side, actually, the intervals can actually keep you from that repetitive motion that may get you injured. So if I go out and run 5 miles just for the sake of getting some distance in, I'm probably better off, doing my 10 1-minute intervals. I don't have to run quite as far, but I get the same results doing a shorter amount of time. So you got that, cardio, strength training. And then the third component, everybody knows it, is how you eat. Okay? I'm going to let Cynthia follow me up on that, but I'm saying right now, well, it's probably been there for years, but abs are made in the kitchen. Okay? I could train you very hard, 3 times a week, 5 times a week, 6, however many. I'm still only going to see you for maybe 3 hours at most. If I was training you 6 times a week, that's a lot. There's a lot of hours left in that day. So it's good to get rest. Of course, you're going to have to fuel your body, but how you fuel it is where you're really going to see the results. You want to keep it really simple. I'll let Cynthia take it away because I'm not even into the nutrition part. But if you eat 1 ingredient foods, that's pretty simple. So you stay away from your processed foods. I can email. I want to get everybody's email before we leave here. But I will email you, actually, hopefully, the video of our seminar tonight. You can distribute it to friends if you want to. And I'll email you any information you need, like our the flat belly summary right here, and the 7 deadly workout sets. Make sure you get all that information, but where you can have it to look back over and remind yourself. But I've actually got a list of of 10 foods on here that if you want to work on getting that flat belly, those are the 10 things to stay away from. Okay? Lastly, you know, we'll take a couple minutes break between each speaker. Anybody that's here tonight, we're going to start a new program called the Tighter Tummy in 10 Days. I have a special on that for anybody that signs up for that tonight, and that would include 9 workouts, tighter tummy workouts, and meal plans that go along with it. So if you want to kickstart, 10 days is a very short amount of time. I don't promise like amazing results because I'm not an infomercial, but you can feel the difference if you eat the right foods. I don't know if you've ever tried to really be strict for a couple of weeks on your diet and work out. If you eat the right foods, you will see a difference. I mean, you need to keep up that consistency. But that's a kickstart program, and I do have another special on our boot camps. If you want to join boot camp, I can let you know more about the times that we're offering in here. But you get your first month half off if you sign up for 3 months tonight. So.